District 132. It's Pam Witt for Parents Night Out. Look, let's talk about the top 5 reasons your kids should be back in the building and back in school. Stay tuned. Reason number 1, socialization. Look, your sister kids and your kids' cousins and the friends in the neighborhood, that is not enough. Your children need social emotional learning. Some of the tools that they'll learn in regards to social emotional learning, they learn from their peers. It's so important that the kids be back in the building and around their friends and other adults that can teach them very specific skills separate from the ones you teach that they will carry with them throughout their lives. Decision making, making the right choices, understanding the yin and yang of a social life, they can only learn from their peers. We know this because when we were kids, of course we listened to our parents, but a lot of things we learned what to do and what not to do through peer relationships. It's so important that your children be around their peers in a setting that you are not controlling. This expands their learning and it expands who they will become as productive, grown, money-making folks when they get grown. So being in school is a part of developing who we all become as adults. Reason number 2 is professional instruction. Let's go back to March 2020 when everybody was all ticked off because they had to become a teacher at home. You gotta open the schools back up. How are we gonna function? I can't do e-learning. I don't have time. I'm not a teacher. Blah, 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 blah. Well, COVID was going on then and you guys were saying that. COVID's going on now and nobody wants to go back to school. Well, 50%. According to U.S. News and World Report across the country, 50% of families are sending their children back to school. I'll say this about that. You parents who were at home killing the game, like you could be a teacher, your kids' grades went up when e-learning started. Other parents were coming to you for advice. Your child excelled and thrived in your homeschool environment. I would not only keep e-learning, I would go straight to the state and do homeschooling. If you was killing the game like that. But those of you all who were struggling, who are still struggling, who are trying to find a balance between work, home, cooking, cleaning, taking care of the kids, educating the kids, and for some of us, taking care of our parents as well, we need help. These are the people who need help. And you get that help by using your professional instructors. Now, disclaimer, I have had some parents come to me, one came to me and 2 emailed me, let's be clear, because it wasn't at me, who say, oh, you just for the school. You for the school board. You for the, okay, so I don't know all of the school board. I definitely don't know all of the new teachers right now. What I know is parenting. That's what I know. And if I had to say who I'm for kids. I'm not for teachers. I'm not for administrators. I'm not for the school board. And I'm not for you. I'm for successful children. And successful children need all of the adults, all of us, working together and on the same page for their future and for their betterment. That's what I'm for. So when I say that the kids need professional instruction, hey, look, I'm an educated woman, but I'm not a teacher. I've been working all my life, but I'm not a teacher. I think I'm smarter than most, but I'm not a teacher. That's a very specific skill set and a whole bucket full of patience that I don't have. The order with which they teach, how they teach, the system that they teach. It's just not my jam. And so I would want my children to be in an environment where they were under professionals who knew how to do that. And then I piggyback that and I support that. And if I feel that from what I know, education should look like, you're not doing that, I need to have a meeting with you. I need to have a meeting with the principal. I need to have a meeting with the superintendent. I need to have a meeting with the school board. I need to do whatever I need to do to fix that. But I do understand my limitations, and my limitations come right about 6th grade. I couldn't help my kids anymore. That the way they do math and science just kind of messed me up. So I needed professional educators to assist me with making sure that my children had what they needed to go on to the next grade and the next grade, because education stacks. And so I wanted my children to be under a professional educator. Now, if you have an educator in your classroom who feels like they're a babysitter, like some of these teachers we heard during the pandemic, if you feel like you're a babysitter, I have no problem moving my child out of your classroom. Because if you think you're a babysitter, go open a daycare. But if you consider yourself as a professional instructor, that's who I want my children sitting around. People who understand that they are professionals at giving an education to a child. That's who you want your children around. And I, as a parent, and I'm sure a lot of you, don't feel like we are capable of facilitating that type of environment, that type of instruction at home. It's important. This is not just an opinion. Education has been set up in this way for years. We have trained people in this country and globally to specifically focus on teaching children. The third reason kids need to be back in school is safety. I would probably bet, and I'm not a gambling girl. I quit playing the lottery like 20 years ago when I figured out I wasn't going to win. But safety. I would put money on the fact that your kids are going to be safer in School District 132 than they probably are in your own house. My 20 and 30 and 40-year-old friends, y'all turning up in the backyard with your friends. Have they all been vaccinated? Are they all wearing masks? Maybe not. My mom got COVID at 77 years old because her grandchildren love her so much. They go see her almost every day. At least 2 of them, of the 11, at least 2, go see her every day. My mom ends up with COVID. Mom never goes anywhere. We don't know how she got it. My guess was the grandkids who are in their 20s. They're partying. They're doing what 20-year-olds do. And my mom ends up with COVID. She was in the hospital for 19 days. Thank God. I believe in God. Thank God she recovered and made it back home. But I said that to say, your children are probably going to be safer in a school environment than they are at home. About 2 days ago, I'm coming down 127th Street when Eisenhower is letting out, and every single kid, drive past Eisenhower and see, every single kid came out of the building pulling their masks off. Every single one. While they're walking in groups of kids. So in the building, they were safe. When they come out and they all take their masks off, that's when the chaos could erupt. So the school is not the place where I would worry about contracting COVID. It's making sure your children are making the right decisions when they come out of the building. Keep your mask on until you get to my car, or until you get on the bus, or until you are not walking with a crowd, or whatever the rules are that you set up for your family, for your household. School is not the place necessarily that I would worry about my kid getting COVID. How many of the teachers are vaccinated? How many of the administrators are vaccinated? I'm not sure. I don't know if they're giving you guys that information or no. But as a parent, I would instruct my child to keep their mask on, whether the teachers have been vaccinated or not. So, with safety, the school has, when I was in there a couple of weeks ago, there are these, I forget what you call them. They're these lights. They're huge. These ultraviolet or whatever lights, like purifying the air. Everybody's masked up. Protocols are in place. I would send my kid in there in a heartbeat. Because I know that the school board and the administrators have the safety of the children in mind. And like I said a couple of videos back, in a lesser point, you have to understand that the teachers, the administrators, the janitors, the lawn care people, everybody understands that they don't have a job if your children are not safe. I was sending them back in just on the strength of that. You have to keep my child safe because it keeps you employed. So if you want to think of it in that lesser way, I would think of it that way, But I totally think children are safer at home, safer at school than they are at home because socially, we don't question our friends. Real talk. When your girlfriend come over, you know she ain't got that shot. You don't know who she been around. You don't know where she been, but you be like, girl, come on. Your friend who may come over with a friend. Or you go to Aldi's, Jewel, Pete's, whatever. You put your mask on, but you touch the cart. You touch this, you touch that. Did you sanitize your hands? Let's put ourselves under the same scrutiny and expectation that we put for the school. Again, my most important concern is getting the kids back into the school and not letting what we are thinking about each other get in the way of that. Because these kids got to be educated. It'll be 2 years if we don't put our kids back in school. That long-term effect, it's going to hurt. And it's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt the teachers and everybody else. But it's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt me. I don't want my family inadvertently affected because of a lack of education. That's the least thing that I want to worry about. So the safety of the children, whether they can contract COVID and things like that, I will worry about less in a school environment than I would in the grocery store, honestly. So that's tip number 3. So the 4th reason I think we should put our kids back in school is our personal focus. Look, if you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids at home, your focus has definitely not been yourself. Your focus has been e-learning, 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 and e-learning. So, yeah. Sending the kids back to school can help you get back to you. Focusing on your work, focusing on that promotion you was almost about to get, focusing on your education that you were in school for, focusing on, becoming better at your job, focusing on family, focusing on your home. Whatever was happening in your life before COVID hit and the kids had to be at home 24 hours a day, sending them back to school, even if it's just on a hybrid plan, 2 or 3 days a week, can help you get back control of your life, get back control of focus on dealing with the mortgage and the landlord or cutting the grass. For me, this is out maintaining my home. So sending the kids back to school can give you just a couple of hours a day of refocusing and restructuring what your life was before COVID hit, and incorporating those new things that we are going to always have as a part of our lives. So personal focus is a great reason to get the kids back in school and to encourage them to get back to their personal focus as well, which is their education. Because luckily for kids, that's all they have to worry about. We take care of everything else. The last reason kids need to get back in school is because of COVID. Look, let's be realistic. Our federal government has not handled this with the care, professionalism, and what we would expect from greatly powerful and educated people in handling a global pandemic. It's kind of been romper room like. So COVID-19, there'll be a COVID-20. There'll be a COVID-21. There are variants all out here already. This is something that we are going to always have to deal with as a world, not even a nation. Everybody wanted the vaccination, and then Johnson & Johnson caused blood clots, and now everybody's all terrified of the vaccination. Well, what you guys didn't know was Moderna and Pfizer cause clots too, just at a 0.5 less percentage than Johnson & Johnson. Hey, look, we're all in new territory here. I got the vaccination. I didn't get the vaccination because I thought I was going to get COVID, honestly. I got the vaccination because my kids are scattered to the winds. One is in California and one is in western suburbs, and I've got to do a little more traveling now than I had to do before. And I want to have the least likely chance of contracting COVID in my travels to see my children. Also, they are in places that I have to have a vaccination to enter. So I selfishly got the vaccination just so I could see my children, and so that I can get on a plane, train, automobile. But this is going to be something that's prevalent and persistent in our lives from now to forever. It's just what it is. And if you think that COVID is going to end sometime soon, hit me in the comments below. If you think that there's a time that COVID won't be in this country anymore, ever, hit me in the comments below. Explain to me what your philosophy is on that, because I would love to hear it. Because then I won't go get that booster shot after my first 2 doses. Enlighten me. We have to teach our children to maneuver in this type of environment. It's new, it's different, it's scary, but this is the environment that we are in. This is why, like in my last video, I talked about teaching your children how to make the right decisions for their own safety and their own health, what they need to know. They need to be able to tell a friend, hey, put your mask on or back up off of me. They need to be able to tell a teacher, hey, I got a problem with question number 3, but do it on the board. Don't walk up on me. You know what I mean? Which, this is what the new world order looks like. But I wouldn't keep my kid out of school because I didn't take the time to explain to them the guidelines or make them follow the guidelines. Now, I also want to say, before I end the video, because that was my last tip, the questions and concerns and ideas even that you have about how to make school safe, contact your teachers. Talk to your administrators. Call the school board and say, hey, I want to send my kid back to school, but this is my concern, or this is my idea, or maybe we could do this. What do you think? Participate in your community. Participate in the school. Comment on the videos. Sign into the school's website. Be an active participant in your own child's education. Anybody that knows me from the district, any parent that's still there, any administrator or teacher that knows me from the district knows every time I had a question, the first thing I did would be look in the handbook, which my specific question may not be in there, but I would look and see the chain of command, and I would go, okay, let me holler at the teacher first. Let me see what the teacher got to say about this little thing here. And then if I didn't feel that that was an appropriate response or a helpful response, I would tell the teacher, well, you know, thanks for giving me the time, but I think I'll go and talk to Miss Delaney. Or I think I'll go and talk to Mr. Drown about this. You know, one of two things is going to happen right there. That teacher is going to work a little bit harder to get your problem solved, or they're going to let you go on to the next step. I never got past the principal. Not one time. No problems I ever had in this district, I ever got past the principal. I know that parents have problems with IEPs, with so many different things that go on in the district. But these are the people who are here to help you. So reach out to them with your ideas of making the school safer. Reach out to them with your concerns of, well, hey, you know, like I said, I want to send the kids to school, but tell me, how would you handle this? How is this going to go? Because I'm telling you, the kids who are in school right now, that 50% in this nation that are in school, they're going to beat your kid to every job that comes to the table. They're going to beat your kid to every scholarship because they are working it out. They are figuring out how to get in school. We can see some schools who are not doing this successfully. Some public universities who are not doing this successfully. We won't know whether it's successful or not until we get in there and do it. Let's give it a shot. Let's work together as a community. Our village officials have not been active at getting us statistics for our community. I think the most successful entity in the district is the school board, is the school system. So that's the place I would feel safer. And I hope you all consider sending your kids back to school. Those of you all who are going to school, I know you guys are loving it because y'all got the whole school to y'allself probably. But focus on educating your kids and less on fear, because soon everybody's going to have a shot. We'll have boosters soon. And this is what the norm is going to be. So let's all get back in the building. Let's get back focused on these kids and worry about what the government going to do as the government doing it. and make sure that your kids have masks. Make sure that they have sanitizer, and make sure that they are making the right decisions at school, that they are not to take their masks off until they are alone, if they're walking home from school, or until they're in your car, or until they are in a place where it's safe to do so. So think about all these things. If you got some ideas and comments to add to this video, some suggestions, drop them in the comments below, not before, below. And thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to see you guys in the building. I'm all vaccinated. I can't wait to see you guys again. And I look forward to sharing parenting strategies, tips, ideas, and concepts to make everybody better parents. Love you guys. Stay tuned to the Motivate Moms channel, where in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be showing you guys my home garden and trying to give you tips and ideas for how you and your kids can start a home garden, whether you're in an apartment, a small home, a big home. Me and my husband used to plant a garden every year, and it was the most fun that me and the kids had, because their dad said, hey, if you eat it and like it and it has a seed, I'll try to grow it. So we grew all kinds of stuff, cantaloupe and strawberries and greens and beans and everything. So stay tuned to the Motivate Moms channel. Make sure you subscribe so that you can see the videos over the summer on how well or not my garden may be going for the summer. And I'll invite a couple of you lucky parents to come and harvest in my garden. So see you guys soon and have a wonderful, wonderful, safe summer.